It's always nice to get packages in the mail, and this one is from Book Depository. So I've got a pretty good idea of what this is. This is something that I've been looking forward to having my own copy of for quite some time. Let's check whether I'm on track or mistaken or not, and then I'll tell you why this book is so particularly important, if I've actually predicted the right book. So let's see what we have. Yeah, there we go. It is Margaret Graver's Stoicism and Emotion. Very nice cover there, isn't it? So this is a copy of a text that I've had a copy out from the library for quite some time, and then it got recalled. I need it for my own research. I actually worked through this entire text with a client and developed writing prompts and all sorts of other cool stuff. So let me tell you those stories in just a moment. First, I'm going to tell you why this is such an important work for me. So this is like the definitive work on the topic of Stoicism and the emotions. It's not the only work out there. There are plenty of academic articles and plenty of books that discuss the emotions in a Stoic perspective, but this is really like the gold standard, right? And it's Margaret Graver, so great scholar on Stoicism and Hellenistic philosophy in general, a translator. I got to meet her briefly at Stoicon back in Toronto in 2017. Great conversations with her. I've interacted with her a few other times. And this is the sort of book that when you read it as a scholar, you say, man, I wish I could have written this book because it is so good. So it's got these, 9 chapters to it. And it's really well organized. It's not just very competent and well researched and well thought out. It brings up some really interesting questions, topics, sometimes even conundrums, right? So it begins with a science of the mind, the pathetic syllogism, vigor and responsibility, feelings without assent. These are all chapter titles, right? Brutishness and insanity, traits of character, the development of character, city of friends and lovers. And then there's the final chapter, the tears of Alcibiades. If you know who Alcibiades was, he was sort of like the bad boy of ancient Athens. Not a person who had a lot of control over his emotions. And then there's this really interesting appendix, the status of confidence, tharos in Greek, in Stoic classifications that is like extra material that didn't quite make it into the chapters but really needed to be discussed. Extensively footnoted. I mean, these are the notes, and then we have a bibliography, so you can tell how much of the book is actually like deep end notes. Great bibliography here. It's well indexed. And so, again, the definitive work on Stoicism and emotions. Now, why did I need to have a copy of this book, besides the fact that it's cool to have, stuff on Hellenistic philosophy and Stoics? So I use this pretty extensively in my own work on Stoicism and not just the emotions, but a number of other topics. I had a copy from the Marquette Library that I've had out for about 3 years, and I just kept renewing it because I had what's called a courtesy appointment. Think of it sort of like you're a professor in town and they want to recognize you and make it possible for you to use the research library's holdings. And nobody else was requesting this book, but there was kind of a snafu, and things got mixed up in terms of my courtesy appointment, and all of the books that I had out, all 16 of them, most of which were on Stoic philosophy, got recalled. And so I got this email from a librarian saying, you got to bring all these books in, buddy. And so I did, and we went through them, and I was like, I need these for my research. I don't know if this is going to get fixed anytime soon. We probably need to buy our own copies. And so I got some Alexander of Aphrodisias and some Simplicius, and a book by Cicero, the On the Moral Ends that I also had out. And then this is one of the ones. This is the last one to arrive from that batch. And now that I've got it, I don't have to take it out from anybody else. I've got my own copy. If I ever run into Margaret Graver again in the flesh, I'll ask her to sign it for me. I will mention that I have a student, a tutorial student, that several years ago I worked through the entire book line by line with because he really wanted to understand it. And I said, this is a really great text. And so I highly recommend it to you. It is written in an academic fashion, but Graver writes in a way that's pretty accessible for non-academics. And she provides good examples, which is very important. And, I think if you're interested in Stoicism or you're interested in the emotions, even if you're not interested in Stoicism in particular, this would be a book that you would want to check out because there's so many insights that she is bringing to the fore that are coming from Stoic philosophy, and she's doing an excellent job in connecting the dots, so to speak, among the Stoic texts. She also is drawing heavily on texts by people who are not Stoics, but are responding to Stoics and through whom we learn quite a bit about the Stoics, like Cicero, who's pretty receptive to them, or Galen, who tends to think that Chrysippus and the other Stoics got some things fundamentally wrong, and there's others along the way, Plutarch as well. So, all told, I am pretty happy with getting this copy. I think you can tell by my enthusiasm in here. This is a cool thing to have my own copy of. I've only seen it in hardback before. I kind of like having it in softcover. It's got that nice new softcover feel to it and a beautiful cover design as well. So I'll stop talking here. If you're into these kind of books, you might want to get your hands on it. If not, well, at least you heard a good story about me unboxing a book I was looking forward to.